Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to the Damodar Leela seminar. And we are discussing we are in the seventh session, seventh episode. And the title for today's discussion is, what is the topmost quality of Lord Krishna? In the previous episode, or in the previous session, we saw how Krishna, when he saw Mother Yashoda's very hard work, very hard parishram, so he agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda. Just to prove that he is Bhakt Vatsal, he has so much love and affection for his devotees. Just to prove that he is Bhritya Vashya, he's subordinate to his servants. Just to prove that he is Bhakti Baddham, he is bound by the ropes of love and devotion of his devotees. In the previous session, we saw that he did many contradicting acts. So there were a lot of contradictions in the behavior of Lord Krishna. And he brought in these controversies just to show that how much he loves his devotees and how much he likes to be controlled by his pure devotees. So we saw how Krishna is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. He is the absolute owner of everything. But still, in Vrindavan, he steals butter. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything has to be used in Krishna's service. He is literally the owner, proprietor of everything, but he likes to steal, and then he is ornamented with some nice adjectives also, that you're a thief, you're a house plunderer, you're a monkey lover, and things like that. And what he steals little butter, little milk, little curd, etc. So this is a very contradiction. He owns everything, everything belongs to him, but in Vrindavan, he likes to steal. Similarly, Krishna is Satyavan. He is the supreme absolute truth. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is no truth superior to me, O Arjuna, O Dhananjaya. But he speaks lies in Vrindavan. So this is a contradiction. He owns everything, but he steals. He is the supreme absolute truth, but he speaks lies just for the pleasure of devotees. And he is Atmaram. He is supremely satisfied eternally. It's not that he became Atmaram day before yesterday or today or maybe in the course of some time in the past. He's eternally Atmaram and Satchidananda, eternally blissful, eternally full of knowledge, and eternally existing and fully satisfied. He does not need someone other than himself to be happy in his life. But then we see that in Vrindavan, he becomes hungry and he starts crying out of that hunger. So this is a very contradiction activity. Again, Krishna is called as Vishuddha Sattva Vigraha. He is the abode of all transcendental qualities which are above the modes of material nature. But we see that in Vrindavan, he displays anger. Now, anger is a quality which is born out of the mode of passion. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhavaha. Only by in touch with modes of passion and ignorance, these qualities like anger, enviousness, illusion, etc., they come. But we see that Krishna is becoming angry in Vrindavan, although he is Vishuddha Sattva Vigraha. Krishna is time personified, and everybody is afraid of time personified. But Krishna himself becomes afraid of Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan. And finally, Krishna is the fastest person. Even the greatest yogis who are meditating on Krishna and who are actually moving faster than the speed of mind in their dhyana on Krishna, they also cannot catch Krishna. Even the greatest of poets cannot capture Krishna in their best of choicest poetries. But still, in Vrindavan, he gets caught by Mother Yashoda. So these are some 6 contradictions which we saw in the existence or in the personality of Krishna. And he brought in all these contradictions just to show that he agrees to give up his title as Bhoktaram, Yagyat Sarvalok Maheshwaram. He agrees to give up his title as Satyavan, or Matta Parataram Jnanit Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. He's agreeing to give up all the titles such as Vishuddha Sattva Vigraha and Atmaram, etc., just to show that he is Bhakti Baddham. He is controlled by the love and devotion of his devotees. So today we are discussing some more qualities of Krishna, and in today's session we'll finally conclude what is the topmost quality which Krishna wants to clearly display to his devotees. The title of today's session, what is the topmost quality of Lord Krishna? And before I begin this session, I would like to offer this session for the pleasure of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all the predecessor acharyas, all the assembled devotees. And I seek their blessings, hoping and praying that this discussion will help them, assist them, and please them in some way or the other. I seek their blessings by chanting the pranam mantras. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Although Krishna is condensed bliss, he is Sukha Rupa Sukhadharam. He is the form of happiness and he is the foundation of happiness and he is bliss personified. But we are saying that from the beginning till the end of Damodar Leela, he is crying. Krishna gets up in the morning, he finds his mother not next to him, he starts crying. And then he comes to the room where Mother Yashoda is churning the butter, and he stops Mother Yashoda from churning the butter. Every activity which he does has a deep lesson, as discussed in the previous sessions. And then he demands from Mother Yashoda that I want to drink milk. So he starts drinking the milk of Mother Yashoda. But then Mother Yashoda remembers the milk, Padmagandha milk, which is boiling in the kitchen. So she puts Krishna aside and goes to save the milk. Again, he starts crying. And while crying, he breaks the pot. And then he realizes, oh God, what I've done. And again, he starts crying. And then he goes to the next room. In order to teach his mother a lesson, he tries to eat the butter which was made yesterday, thinking that after eating it, I'll fall sick. And Mother Yashoda will have to take me to some doctors and that will cause so much trouble to her. So I'll teach her a lesson. But then some monkeys come, he starts feeding the butter to the monkeys. And even while feeding the butter to the monkeys, he's still crying, not knowing when his mother will come from behind. First time in his life, he saw his mother with a stick in her hand. He had never imagined or seen this kind of strict mood and form of Mother Yashoda. Words cannot describe how much pain Lord Krishna was experiencing at that time. So when he saw his mother like that, he jumped from the wooden mortar on which he was sitting And then he ran outside towards the gate to save himself. And he was crying very loudly. So hoping that others will come and help him, but nobody came to help him. Generally, when Mother Yashoda, when Krishna would cry, even for the little slightest amount of crying, tears if he would shed, immediately Mother Yashoda, who had invested all her love in her child, and the only purpose of her existence was Lord Krishna, would come running and wipe his tears. But today, Lord Krishna was bewildered. He was awestruck to see that he is crying and crying, but Mother Yashoda is not wiping his tears. So he decided that now I have to use my own hands to wipe my tears. And then he started wiping his tears on his own. And then Mother Yashoda caught him and wanted to bind him. He was not able to understand what's going on. He's crying and crying and crying all throughout. The Brahma Samhita says, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna is Satchidanand. He is eternally happy, eternally blissful, and eternally existence. There is no scope for any tribulations in his life. He has no reasons to cry. Like, I have many reasons to cry. And I have so many tribulations in my life. I have so many difficulties in my life. But Krishna has no, he is Satya Sankalpa. Whatever he desires comes true. He is Aptaram, he is Atmaram, he is fully satisfied. Why should he cry? But in this Leela, he is crying. Why is he crying? As discussed earlier, he is simply crying to reciprocate with the loving emotion, unadulterated, unalloyed, uncontaminated, uninterrupted emotion, unconditional loving emotion of Mother Yashoda, which was displayed in this pastime. To reciprocate with her and to enhance her Vatsalya Rasa, he was crying. Basically, he was simply relishing the love of his mother. And in order to do that, as we discussed earlier, he relinquished many, many opulences which he has. He's Bhoktaram, Yagyatapasam, creator, maintainer, destroyer, God, ultimate truth, and Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashwatam, Divyam, Adideva, Majam Vibhu. All these qualities he puts aside just to show that yes, I am controlled by my devotees. So there are some other opulences also, which in this pastime he puts aside. So I will discuss them now. So another opulence which Krishna relinquished in this Leela is that Krishna is the object of all prayers. All people are offering prayers to him. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Param Brahma Param Dhamam Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevam Majam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishya Sarve Devarshi Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasah Swayam Chaiva Bravisime. So Arjuna is telling that great personalities such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, and even myself, everybody is glorifying you. Indra, Chandra, Shiva, all the demigods, even everybody, Lakshmi, etc., are glorifying you. So nobody has the audacity to not glorify you because you are the object of all prayers. But just look, Krishna gives up this opulence of his. He is the object of all prayers. He is Uttama Shloka. Nobody approaches him without choicest poetry. But he gives us this opulence, and we see that in Vrindavan, instead of being glorified, he is being scolded. He is being scolded in this pastime. And how is he being scolded? He is being told that you are a house plunderer. You are a monkey lover. You are a butter stealer. You very, very bad words Mother Yashoda is speaking to him. Although he is the object of all prayers, but in this Leela we see he becomes the object of all chastisement from Mother Yashoda. But then why is this happening? See, nobody can chastise Krishna or nobody can criticize Krishna. He is beyond anybody's criticism. If anybody criticizes Krishna, they'll go to hell. But here we see Mother Yashoda is, he's scolding him, and she is binding him and chastising him. She's not offering glorification to him. It looks like a contradiction, but this is not contradiction because this is done out of extreme deep love. So it's not just the activity, but the intention with which the activity is being, with which the activity is done is more important. Krishna is Bhav Grahi Janardhan, not glorification Grahi Janardhan. If somebody does not has love for Krishna, but if they stand in front of the altar and then they recite some so many prayers, that's not going to impress Krishna. The Purusha Sukta prayers. It is said that whenever someone says Purusha Sukta prayers, Krishna goes to sleep. And when gopis used to come and clap their hands simply out of love, Krishna used to wake up. So Krishna is behind the bhava and not behind your choicest poetry, which you say without bhava, mechanically. So although he is the object of prayers, having become the object of chastisement, he is still very happy because he knows that it is coming out of stubborn, uncontaminated, uninterrupted, unconditional love, unfathomable love of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda is the topmost devotee as far as Vatsalya Rasa is concerned. Okay, so this is, we see another opulence which he has of being the object of all prayers. He relinquished in Vrindavan. Another opulence which he relinquishes is Krishna has the opulence of being the supreme judge. Krishna is the ultimate decider of everybody's fate. Who is pious, who is not pious, who is good, who is bad. He decides. He has set the laws of material nature and they work according to his directions. And then he decides what will happen to next. Maybe this devotee will come back now. This devotee will take 100 lifetimes and all that. It is he who decides. But we see, although he is the supreme judge and although he need not wait for anyone's judgment, he is beyond everybody's judgment. Sometimes the people, they file a case in the court that if Krishna exists, he should come in the court today and we will judge him today, that whether he is correct in this kind of incident or not. So that is foolishment. He is beyond the scope of anybody's judgment. But we see in this Damodar Leela pastime, he is waiting, he is crying, he is putting his head down and he is waiting for the judgment of Mother Yashoda. And what is Mother Yashoda's judgment? That yes, you will be bound to the wooden mortar now. And then you'll stay there like that for a good amount of time. So we see, we all know that in the belly of Krishna, in the second chapter of 10th canto Bhagavatam or the second chapter of Krishna book, all the demigods are praying to Krishna. And then they say that in your belly, all the universes reside. So literally speaking, when Mother Yashoda bound Lord Krishna, she bound all the universes together. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, these Mayavadis are idiots. They are aspiring to become God. A devotee of God is even greater than God. So, even materially speaking, Mayavadis are idiots. If they become God, which they will never become, they can only enjoy the opulences. But if they become a devotee, they can bind God also. So if they want higher enjoyment, they should become devotees, not God. So in this pastime, we see that Krishna gives more importance to the desire of the devotee. That is, Mother Yashoda's desire was to bind Krishna, and his desire was to not get bound. The acharyas say that on that day, he had already planned whose house he'll go, whose children he'll pinch, whose butter he will steal, how many pots he'll break. Full itinerary was already planned, and the friends were communicated previous night only, and all arrangements were done. And he knew Balram will not support in few activities, so he had sent Balram away to Upananda's house. So everything was planned. Now, what can someone do to change the plan of Krishna? Nothing. Whatever Krishna wants has to happen. That is the natural sequence of things. But in this pastime, we see that he gave up his desire of being free and he made the desire of his devotee his own. Just like the devotees, they make the desire of Krishna as their own. So Krishna is reciprocating. That now I will make your desire as my own and I will get bound. So therefore, we can understand who can be a better lover than Krishna. Who can love us more than Krishna? Therefore, in the Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Kamva dayalum sharanam brajema. Who is more merciful? Kamva dayalum. Whose shelter I will take? Sharanam brajema. So here also the word vraja comes. So indirectly, Vedvyas is hinting that nobody can love Krishna more than the Brahmavasis. So this is another opulence which he has, which he gives up. That he is eternally free in his activities, swarat, in his nature, but he becomes controlled by the desires of his devotees. Another opulence which he has is that Krishna is the ultimate liberator. His name is Mukunda. That means one who gives liberation to everybody from the clutches of modes of material nature, from the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death, from the clutches of also Mayavad. Mayavadis are also ultimately helped by Krishna and his devotees. But we see that he has got bound himself. People take shelter of Krishna to get liberation, but we see that he himself has got bound. And therefore, after getting bound, he has become famous. Hence the word Yashoda. The word Yashoda means one who gives fame to someone. So in this Leela, we see by letting Mother Yashoda bind him, he is becoming famous. That yes, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I have been bound by Mother Yashoda. So he became famous because of this activity. So therefore, Shukdev Goswami glorifies Mother Yashoda in this chapter. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shrirapyang samshaya prasadam le bhire gopi yattat prapta vimuktidat. Neither Brahma nor Shiva nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer of this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. Nenam virincho na bhavo na shrir apyang samshaya. Virincho is Brahma. So Brahma has not got so much mercy as Mother Yashoda. Bhava. Bhava means another name of Lord Shiva. Hence Parvati is called Bhavani. So even Lord Shiva has not got such mercy. What to speak of Shiva and Brahma? Even Mother Lakshmi, who is constantly massaging the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, has never received such mercy. They cannot even imagine how much Lord Krishna loves Yashoda. At least we can say that he loves more than Shiva, Brahma and Mother Lakshmi. Imagine Shiva tying Lord Krishna. Is it possible? No. Imagine Mother Lakshmi. She's trying to keep Lord Vishnu with her, but then gone. But that Supreme Personality of Godhead is now standing, crying, bound by Mother Yashoda. So basically, the Damodar Lila demonstrates that he's Bhakti Baddham. He agrees to be bound by the love of his devotees. Another verse of the same chapter says, Nayam sukhapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutah jnaninam chatma bhutanam yatha bhakti matam iha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, Gopika Sutaha, is accessible to the devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but he is not easily accessible to mental speculators or to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities, penances, or to those who consider the body to be the same as self. So this is the qualification to understand God. The qualification to understand God, serve God, love God is devotion. See, Mother Yashoda, she is not a philosopher. She is not a jnani. She is not a scientist. She is not some analyst who can understand what's going on. Of course, if she wants to analyze, if she wants to do something, she can do it. It's not that Mother Yashoda is unqualified to be a scientist or an analyst. But her most prominent quality is unconditional love for Krishna. And Krishna is demonstrating that in front of this Krishna prema, or in front of this love for God, all other qualities, they become insignificant and subordinate. See, even in the personality of the devotees of Krishna, some devotees are philosophers. Some devotees are scientists. Some devotees are analysts. So if Krishna wants, these qualities will manifest in devotees also. But devotees do not necessarily aspire for these qualities. They don't want to become scientists, philosophers, analysts, etc. Their aspiration is Krishna Prem. So therefore, every devotee should sincerely and seriously try to cultivate this desire that when will I get Krishna Prem? When will I get love of God? When will I receive a fraction of it? And what is the process of doing that? This should be the hankering of every devotee. So therefore, Satyavrat Muni very nicely says in the Damodar Ashtakam, Iti driksvali labhe anand kunde swaghosham nimajantam akhyaapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktairjitatvam punah prematastam satavriti vande. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. And he is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in the knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by the devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. So here also very nice word comes, Bhaktair Jitatvam. He is conquered by his devotees. Another name of Krishna is Ajita, one who can never be conquered. But here it is Bhaktair Jitatvam. He gets conquered. See, there are devotees in awe and reverence. There's nothing wrong with that. That is needed. That is important. They want to follow so many rules and regulations and they need to serve Krishna. But then there are some most special devotees called the Vrajvasis, who have surpassed this awe and reverence. They do not necessarily need to possess that awe and reverence, but they necessarily possess a pure emotion for Krishna. Hare Krishna. These Vrajvasis, they have surpassed this stage of awe and reverence. Instead, they possess an uncontaminated, pure emotion for Krishna. And they consider the Krishna as a son or a friend or a lover, etc., etc. And Krishna likes that pure love which they have more than the awe and reverence which he is receiving elsewhere. In Dwarka, when Krishna would lift the Sudarshan Chakra, immediately people would fall at his feet. Oh, you are God, you are this, you are that. So their love was filled with awe and reverence, but not uncontaminated, pure emotion. Some people need to know Krishna as God. You know, we have to learn this personality is God. Now I have understood that he is God. Now I will serve him. But the Vrajvasis were not like this. They didn't need to know that Krishna is God. They loved Krishna simply because they wanted Krishna to be with them. Did the Vrajvasis have any expectations from Krishna? No, they had no expectations. The only expectation rather they had was, let Krishna be here and let us serve them, let us serve him nicely and let him be the object of our love. That's the only expectation they had. They never expected Krishna to bless them or save them, etc., etc. So this is called pure love. In Vrindavan, in Dwarka or in Mathura, when Krishna does some pastime, everybody falls at his feet. But in Vrindavan, when Krishna kills Arishtasura, Dhenukasura, Putana, Shakatasura, etc., he becomes more humble. Because his friends will tell him, don't act smart now. Acting too smart. I saw what you were doing when you were lifting the Govardhan. Where your eyes were. And who was supporting you. All the butter which you are stealing every day, from there you are getting the strength. And that butter my mother is making. So you better listen to what I'm saying. You're not so great, okay? And by the way, your father, Nand Maharaj, when you were lifting the Govardhan, he was worshipping the Shaligram Shila. So Lord Vishnu entered your body. You don't know, we saw. And you were glancing at Radharani. And you are feeling very happy. And Govardhan was also feeling happy. On his own, he went up in the sky. And you were just putting and balancing your finger here and there. We saw what you were doing. So these are called the Priya Narma Sakhas of Krishna. Kachu Makan ke bal badho, kachu gopan kiyo sahai, Shri Radhe ki kripa se tune girvar liyo uthai. This is the statements of Krishna. So when Krishna, when he kills or when he does some great pastime, when he dances on Kaliya, he becomes more humble. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is dancing on the hoods of Kalia, who has hundreds of hoods, hundreds of primary hoods and thousands of non-primary hoods, with so much poison that that had contaminated the whole lake, and the fumes were so up in the sky that a bird, when he used to fly across the lake, would fall down dead. In that circumstances, he is dancing and controlling such a great serpent. But when he comes out, the people of Vraja, they say, oh, please get a blanket. He must be feeling cold. And Nand Maharaj comes and asks him, did you jump first, or did your friends ask you to jump? So this is the love of the residents of Vrindavan. They are not concerned that he has just chastised a great serpent Kalia. They are concerned, is he okay or not? Why did he do this? Why is he getting naughty day by day? This is called as pure love for Krishna. So what? Now we have discussed Krishna relinquishes so many qualities of godhood and opulences in Vrindavan. So what is the topmost quality in Krishna? The answer is Swaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadi yeshitagneshur bhaktir jitatvam. So Krishna is defeated, controlled by his devotees, conquered by his devotees. This is his topmost quality. To prove this, there are so many qualities which Krishna relinquishes. How many qualities Krishna has? Unlimited. But he's ready to give up all his qualities, but he cannot give up this quality of being bhakti baddham, being controlled by his devotees. In other words, he cannot give up the quality of being bhakt vatsal. He can give up anything in life, but he cannot stop being bhakt vatsal. Hence, Krishna's name is Achyuta, because he never falls down from his position of being a perfect, loving reciprocator towards his devotees. He can stop doing everything and anything, but he cannot stop being bhakt vatsal. So therefore, topmost quality of Krishna is that he is bhakt vatsal, and he is bhakti baddham, and he is bhakter jitatvam. He is conquered by his devotees, and he likes being conquered. He likes being conquered. Another pastime which is coming to my mind is the Krishna and Balram. They enter the arena of Kamsa, and Kamsa had these wrestlers: Shal, Toshal, Chanur, Mushtik, Koot. They were world conquerors. They were princes actually. And Kamsa went and challenged them that, okay, I want to fight with you. If you defeat me, then I am your servant. I'll surrender to you. But if I defeat you, you have to surrender to me. That's how Kamsa used to become a world. In fact, all the demons which Kamsa sent in Vrindavan had been defeated and captured by Kamsa earlier. So when Krishna goes in the arena, he very heroically, Krishna and Balram, they defeat all the wrestlers, they kill, they defeat everybody, break everybody's bones. And then ultimately he kills Kamsa also. And the brothers of Kamsa are killed by Balram. But then there is one friend of Krishna called Sridham. He says, this cannot be Krishna. A wrestling match in Vrindavan. Let me go and test. So he came running, and Krishna became so happy to see him. And he was, spread his arms across, hoping that his friend will come and embrace him. But his friend came and pushed him, and he fell down. And then his friend put his leg on the chest of Krishna, and the whole Mathura is seeing this. And then he said, yeah, this is Krishna. He cannot handle my single push also. This is Krishna. So he likes that. He likes to be defeated by his devotee. Bhakter jitatvam. So this is the topmost quality of Krishna. So after Krishna has been tied to the wooden mortar, Mother Yashoda thought, since the morning I was churning butter, this boy, he interfered my plan. And from morning till evening, I tried to bind him. I should do some household work also now. It's the day of Deepavali. So she called some small boys, 2-3-year-old boys, and also some elder boys, that you take care of Krishna. I'm leaving him bound here, and I'll go inside and I'll do some household work, and you make sure that nobody opens his ropes. Now, it so happened that Krishna wanted to perform this Damodar Leela pastime. So previous night, He went to Nand Maharaj and he said, when was the last time you met your brother Upananda? You should go and meet him sometimes. Nand Baba was like, he was just a loving father. He said, yeah, I should go and meet him. And then he went and told Balram, see, you and your mother should go and meet Upananda tomorrow. Diwali is there and he has invited us for a feast. I'll not be able to come. I have some important business to do, but all of you should go. And now Krishna is thinking that, see, I am bound here. There is no Balram. There is no Mother Rohini. There is no Nand Baba. So Krishna is calling out the name of Balram. Imagine Krishna is bound and he's calling out, oh Balram, where are you? Oh Mother Rohini, in your presence, nothing could have happened to me, but see in your absence how I am being treated here. Oh Nand Baba, I am your son. And see what's happening to the prince of Vrindavan. Like that he's thinking. And at the same time, when he was bound, he saw two trees standing in his courtyard. They were the Yamala and Arjuna trees. Now the Acharyas explain that only a preacher or only a person who has experienced what it means to be bound can actually show compassion on others who are bound. Although Krishna is omniscient, he knows everything. He doesn't need to be bound to understand what it feels to be bound. But now that Krishna was bound himself, he could understand what it means for two souls to be bound in the body of a tree for thousands of years. So this is called as preaching mentality. So this preaching mentality comes from Krishna only. So Krishna thought that I am bound, but let me try to help them. They are also bound. This is preacher mentality. Preacher knows that I am not perfect. I am not probably fully Krishna conscious. I am not, standing in the Vishuddha Sattva and things like that. I'm also bound by the laws of material nature. I'm also bound by so many deficiencies. But here is a person, let me help him. This is called preaching. So, as soon as he saw those two trees, he immediately thought of Narad Muni. That how Narad Muni had cursed these two sons of Kuvera, whose name was Manigriv and Nalakuvara. And then he thought that, yeah, my devotee Narad Muni had told that I have to deliver them. Although I have no business with them, but because he has told, so let me go and help them. So then he started to think that, yes, something should be done. But while the time he was thinking, Balram came in the scene. And Balram was very, very angry. He was thinking that who is this who can tie Krishna? So Balram represents Guru Tattva. And tying Krishna is an offense against Krishna. So Guru never tolerates any offense against Krishna. So he was very, very angry. In the Ramayana, we see that when Lord Ram is seeing that Chaturmasya is about to be over, and Sugriv, who had promised that he will help Lord Ram to find Sita, he is not showing any concern, not showing any interest. So he sent Lakshmana. He told Lakshmana that you please go and tell Sugriv that the door through which I sent Bali out of this world, that door is still open. So Lakshmana became supercharged. He said, I'll not tell, I'll send him through that door only. First time, my dear brother, I'm seeing you in this mood of action. Sorry for the disturbance. I have put my phone to silent. So he was very happy that first time my brother has stopped being Maryada Purushottam and then he wants to fight. I was missing him all this time. And immediately Lord Ram said, no, you please don't kill him. Just go and tell him what I have told and you don't touch him, you just come back. And then when Lakshmana was going towards, it is described when he was entering and moving towards the palace of, which was in Kishkindha, the palace of Sugriva, because he is Adi Shesha. So when he becomes angry, he's, so much that hissing and fuming sound comes from him. And when he walks in anger, the whole earth trembles. So as soon as Jamvant saw this, he went and told Hanuman. And when Hanuman came to know this, he immediately went to Sugriva and he told, you better start chanting Narsimha Pranam mantras. Lakshmana is coming and nobody can save you now. And when Sugriva heard this, it is said that he became so afraid, that he fainted. Who will save me from Lakshmana? So then, that is the anger of Lakshmana. We cannot imagine how much anger that is. That Balram is coming in full anger and asking, who has tied you? You tell me. I will annihilate the whole existence. I will annihilate this whole universe. Before Pralaya, I will bring Pralaya. And then, who is that person who dared to tie you like this? Lord Krishna is crying and crying, and then he stops crying for some time. And then he says, Mother Yashoda has tied me like this. And Balram says, oh. Earlier, Balram was roaring like a lion. Then he started inquiring like a cat. But why didn't you tell? Why did you send me to Upananda's house yesterday night? And then Balram sat there and he said, I told you so many times not to steal. I told you so many times not to trouble mother much. Now see, she has become angry. Now who can save you? Balram is asking Krishna, who can save you? And Krishna is telling, I don't know who can save you. So I like to highlight this point that the whole world is crying under the influence of Maya, and these two Mayapatis, Krishna and Balram, they are simply holding each other and they are crying. But then see, Balram is the supreme servitor of Krishna. He's the servitor, supreme personality of Godhead. If Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, Balram is servitor, supreme personality of Godhead. He will always try to serve Krishna in any circumstances. So he tries to go and talk to Mother Yashoda. He says, okay, I'll try something. So he goes to Mother Yashoda and then he says, let me tell her the 2nd chapter and the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita first. Mother Yashoda, do you know who is Krishna? So Yashoda says, no, tell me who is Krishna. So he says, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridyanti Yuge Yuge. You don't know. You are just, he is supreme personality of Godhead, source of all incarnations, source of all Vishnu Tattvas. He is Narsimha, Vamana, this, that, full Dashavatara Stotram and everything he said. Then Mother Yashoda asked, who are you? And then he said, I am Lakshmana, I am Adishesha, I am Guru Tattva. Acha, you are Guru? So all the incarnations of Krishna and Bhagwan have to come in my house only? If you do not run away from here immediately, I will beat you and tie you up just like the way I have done to Krishna. So Balram becomes very afraid and then he runs away. And then he again comes and he starts crying in front of Krishna. But then he gets another idea. Balram is told to be the best amongst the wise. So he gets another idea. He says, okay, I'll try again. Don't cry so much. And Krishna always becomes full of hope when he sees Balram is going to do something. Even when Krishna wanted to, in future, we will see, even when Krishna would like to oppose the Indra Puja, so he has to convince the whole Vrajvasis that what they are doing is wrong. More importantly, he has to convince Nanda Maharaj. So he needs some bala. So he keeps Balram with him all the time for that bala. Krishna is very hopeful whenever Balramji tries to do something. So this time Balramji went to Mother Yashoda and said that, see, it's been a long time now. Punishment ka bhi ek phase hota hai. Kitna punish karenge? It's been a long time. It's time. You just see, he's so beautiful. He's tied there. Don't you feel little compassion? Just look at him once. He was thinking that he will bring in this compassion angle. Mother Yashoda said, I'm not looking at him. I'm only looking at you. Okay, don't look at me. If you permit me, can I go and open the ropes of Lord Krishna? Like that, he was asking. I will untie. And this time, Mother Yashoda did not answer him also. She just gave him an angry look. And afraid of that angry look, Balram ran away. And then he came back and he said to Lord Krishna that there's no hope for you. Nothing can be done. If you only want to do something, you do. Nobody can help you now. So then Lord Krishna started thinking, yeah, What is the solution to this? I've been tied like this to the wooden mortar because of doing some mischief. And I'm in a situation where nobody can help me, so I will do more mischief. So then he again looked at the two Yamala Arjuna trees, and then he said, time for some more mischief. And then he started walking on his 4 hands and knees, dragging the wooden mortar behind him with a determination, Satya Sankalp, of liberating these 2 trees as predicted by his dear devotee Narad Muni. Now, what happens next? We will hear in the next episode. I will conclude today's discussion here. If there are any questions or comments, they are welcome. Those who are online, they can also comment. Till then, what I'll do, by the time you come up with your reflections or comments, I'll revise today's session. So the title of today's session was, what was the topmost quality of Lord Krishna? We see that Krishna's topmost quality is that he is bhaktair jitatvam. He is conquered by his devotees. He is bhakt vatsal. He is always in the position of Acyuta, of reciprocating his love towards his devotees, unfailing in all circumstances. And then we see that although he has many qualities of godhood, but he's ready to relinquish all these qualities. I gave examples that how he's Sarvalok Maheshwaram, but he is ready to steal as if it doesn't belong to him, something. He is the embodiment of truth, but he lies. He is Atma Ram, but he feels hungry. He is Shuddha, Vishuddha Sattva Vigraha, but he exhibits anger. He is time personified, but he himself becomes afraid. And he is the fastest, but he gets caught. And he's literally bringing these contradictions in this Leela just to show that my supreme, topmost, sweetest quality is that I'm bhakti baddham. I'm conquered and tied by my devotees. And today we also saw that Krishna is the object of all prayers. But if someone goes to Vrindavan, they'll not believe this. If you know, even when Lord Krishna was being glorified by Lord Brahma, in the 10th canto, we see Brahma glorifies Lord Krishna after the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Serious prayers are going on, the best prayers. But then Lord Krishna, Brahma could not understand whether Lord Krishna has forgiven him or not. Brahma was clueless because Krishna didn't give any expression. He didn't say, I'm happy with you, tathastu, please go, enjoy, nothing. Krishna was in a hurry because the friends of Krishna behind, they were thinking, ye kaun hai? Krishna is wasting so much time talking to this four-headed person. If he doesn't come in the next 20 minutes, we'll not let him play with us. And Krishna is hearing all that and he's telling Brahma, Jaldi jao, I have to play. So, although he's the object of all prayers, the Brahma, the secondary creator, the most cultured and knowledge person of the universe is offering him prayers. But he likes to become the object of chastisement by his friends in Vrindavan. So he relinquishes his quality of Godhead. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme judge, but he likes to await the judgment of Mother Yashoda in Vrindavan. He likes to await the judgment of his friends while playing. He likes to await the judgment of the gopis in Vrindavan who make him a plaything in Vrindavan. Similarly, Krishna's desires always come true. Krishna is Satya Sankalpa, but he likes to give up his desires. The source of all determination is Krishna. Nobody can be more determined than Krishna. But we see in Vrindavan, if Krishna has decided and determined to do something, but if he sees his devotees don't want that, then he gives up his determination. This is not found anywhere else. See, we also give up our determination. Then what is the difference between us and God? We are forced to give up. We give up determination accustomed or due to the conditioning of the modes of material nature and weakness of heart, just like Arjuna was giving up his determination to fight. But Krishna gives up his determination simply out of love and devotion for his devotees. And lastly, Krishna is the supreme liberator, Mukunda, but he likes to give up the title of Mukunda and be Baddha in Vrindavan. And so therefore, the topmost quality of Krishna is that he is Bhakt Vatsal, Bhaktair Jitatvam, and Bhakti Baddham. And then we also saw the supreme position of Mother Yashoda, how her position is more superior than Lord Shiva, Brahma, and Mother Lakshmi also. And we appreciated the love and devotion of Rajvasis, which is free of awe and reverence, but full of pure love for Krishna, which does not have any expectations. And then we saw how the Leela further continues, and Krishna makes up his mind to help the two trees, the Yamalarjuna trees, who were the sons of Kuvera, the richest person. And he decides to liberate them and help them to further tease Mother Yashoda. Okay, so any questions, comments, reflections, they are welcome. I see in the chat box some reflections have come. Mayavadis want to become God, but devotees are greater than God. Yeah, thank you. Bhakti Baddha, Lord is bound by the love of Mother Yashoda and not by any rope. Thank you. Krishna can give up everything, but he cannot give up being Bhakti Vatsal. Very good point. Another point, Krishna cannot prove his Bhagavad, his Godhead in Vrindavan. I mean, he doesn't like to be in the position of Godhead in Vrindavan. Thank you. And preaching mentality is, I'm also bound, I'm also not perfect, but still I should try to help some people to get release from material bondage. Thank you. These are very, very sweet points. Thank you very much. If there are no further questions or comments, we would like to close today's discussion. See you next in the next session. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.